It looks like Joshua Van will be defending the flyweight title soon. Yesterday he posted this. He wrote, "Sign." While the UFC has not officially announced the matchup, reports suggest that his opponent is expected to be Tatsuro Taira. This will mark the first UFC championship title fight between two fighters born after the year 2000. Conor McGregor posted a video of him sparring the 6'5" PFL welterweight Eoin Sheridan. Sean Strickland is set to face Anthony Hernandez next weekend at UFC Houston. In an interview with ESPN this week, Sean says he should have turned down the rematch against Dricus du Plessis, which he lost via unanimous decision.
Your last fight, you went and fought Dricus.
Yeah,
it was
I know.
For a championship.
Yeah, that was, again, I'm my own man. The UFC doesn't control any of us, but I probably should have said no to that. I wasn't healthy for it, so. But, you get pulled in the big guy's office and they say, hey, well, if you don't say yes, somebody else will, and you'll be put on the back burner. So you just kind of say yes and hope things pan out. And, sometimes they pan out, sometimes they don't.
Well, how did it all work out? Because that was a very important one. It was one in which you had felt that you had beat the guy and that they had given it to you.
At the end of the day, it's all bullshit. You take Dricus, he goes and loses Chimaev, and now no one really talks about him. It's like, dude, this whole sport, it's like 1 minute you're on top, 1 minute you're not, and just, I don't really find my happiness from it. I like to train, I like being around the boys, the guys, I like to fight, but at the end of the day, dude, it doesn't really define who I am now, especially as I get older. It's like the UFC logo and the blue check mark, you're starting to realize it doesn't matter. I love fighting. Again, this is my blood, it's who I am.
Dricus du Plessis recently had some high praise for Israel Adesanya. Dricus thinks Izzy is already a UFC Hall of Famer and has nothing left to prove.
Is it fair to say Israel is planning his exit strategy and he's very much a guy who will go out on his own terms? He won't be asked to call it a day.
Yeah, I think for any fighter it's really hard.
Yeah.
I think it's hard. We live for this. And sometimes you need somebody to tell you, listen, it's time. For him, I don't think it's time. I don't think it's time yet. We'll see in this performance, but, in terms of accomplishing things in the sport, that's not where his mind's at. Going for the belt, that's not where his mind's at. It's probably not going to happen. I can almost guarantee it's not going to happen because that's not what his goals are. His goals right now is fighting the best guys that he can, the most exciting guys, and doing what he loves. And that's a special place to be because he has already done it all. He's already in the Hall of Fame. He is one of the greatest to ever do the sport. So for him right now, enjoy the sport and do the thing you love and entertain the people like you always have.
Gable Steveson is currently 3-0 in his fighting career, with all 3 wins coming by first-round knockout. Gable is set to face Hugo Lazama at MFL 3 and says that if he wins in spectacular fashion, he plans to call for a UFC debut.
You take out the next opponent and maybe the next big thing will come. And if it's not the White House, something big always comes. It always happens.
Will you call for it? You go out there and get a knockout on Thursday? Will you call specifically for hey, I'm ready to get me on there?
Yeah, most definitely I'll call for it. I'll call for it. I think it's rightfully so. Especially if it's a big knockout that happens next Thursday. It'd be my 4th one. My 3rd in MMA, 1 in dirty boxing. So that's how it would be. But just like we talked about, if the cards fall that way, they fall that way. If they don't, they don't.
This week, Joaquin Buckley has been going back and forth with Terence Crawford over MMA versus boxing. Daniel Cormier recently weighed in on the situation and gave Buckley credit for calling Crawford out.
Schaub Steveson said the UFC could never be boxing. Joaquin Buckley was right. It doesn't have to be boxing. Because the reality is there's no big fights like there were in the past. Hey, I want to be the boxing of the 70s and 80s and 90s. There aren't enough big events to make us go back to the days when Ali was fighting, or when Tyson was fighting, or when you had the 4 kings and they were all fighting each other. I'm talking even the days of Lennox Lewis being the heavyweight champion. It was different back then. Canelo fought Terence Crawford. It felt like a big event. But honestly, when I get super excited for these boxing fights, until you get young, exciting prospects that want to go out there and try to knock people out like the guys from the past, you're going to get the fight that we got where Terence Crawford, who showed once again why he is the best, he just controlled Canelo Alvarez, who's the biggest star of this generation. And then it's just not that fun. Whereas when you get to the UFC, it's more fun It's more exciting, and it's just better. And hats off to Joaquin Buckley for calling that shit out, because he should have called it out. We aren't boxing. The UFC's better. That's just the God honest truth.
Brendan Schaub recently slammed the current state of the UFC heavyweight division.
Like, the heavyweight division's so bad. It's such a shell of what it used to be, even when I fought. It used to be so good. Go back and watch Pride, heavyweight Grand Prix. Even Bellator 10 years ago was better than this current heavyweight division in the UFC. When I fought, it was the who's who, man. I mean, it was murderer's row. Now it's just a shell of itself, and it doesn't have to be, because if they signed Rico, if they came to an understanding with Francis, if they signed Gable Steveson, we're at least cooking with some gas. That makes it exciting. Dana's issue with Francis, but then also Dana says he doesn't really deal with the guys anymore. So it's like, then somebody needs to step in and go, hey man, this heavyweight division is dying, if not dead. Your current heavyweight champ is having a serious eye surgery. He's out 9 months. John Jones wants one more. You do at the White House. It's against Alex Pereira. Okay. And I know Dana has his issue with Francis, but he's by far the biggest free agent out there, by far. And if you're not really dealing with it, have Hunter, have McMahon deal with it and get his ass in there, just for the health of the division. So you have Francis, John, okay. You have John Aspinall, okay. Francis Aspinall, mix Rico in there, mix Gable Steveson in there. Now we're cooking. But for whatever reason, they're just being like, nah, we're good with what we got. Are ya?
At the moment, Beneil Dariush does not have a fight lined up, but says his next fight could be his last. Beneil is 36 years old and coming off a loss to Benoit Saint Denis, where he was TKO'd 16 seconds into the first round. In an interview with Real MMA Today, he said, "I've been in the UFC for 12 years, and that's where I'm at. I just take it one fight at a time. My next fight could be my last one. I honestly don't know. We'll see what happens after the fight. I'm excited for the future. I still plan on being part of MMA." On the Casuals MMA podcast, Gerald Meerschaert reflects on his fight against Khamzat Chimaev. The two fought back in 2020, and Khamzat won via knockout 17 seconds into the first round. Gerald reveals that he got into an altercation with Khamzat backstage. However, it wasn't filmed because nobody was around.
There was too much of a language barrier. He mumbled a lot at the time.
A lot of
Still mumbles.
Yeah.
Still mumbles. Yeah. And he would like keep interrupting me. Yeah. Well, if you would have interrupted me and like was talking crazy that would have been better. Yeah. But like, it was just kind of annoying. And then, yeah, look, I got nothing against Khamzat. We fought. It's over. He's done great. Yeah. That dude's the man. All respect. But I do remember we met in the hall. This was during COVID. And like, we see him in the hallway. Is me and Brendan Allen, and then him and his coaches. And he walks up to me and like, you know, kind of gets in my face and like we start talking back and forth, and it was like the dumbest talk, like, you know, two guys see each other and we're trying to see like, oh yeah, you want, yeah. Like, we're both like, I don't know exactly what he's saying. I probably said some dumb we're both just like he got aggressive. And I was kind of like, who's this for?
I'm not getting aggressive in a hallway.
And I had like posted the Thomas the Tank Engine meme, which I thought was hilarious. But you know, obviously, comedic standards in different parts of the world are different. He might have taken that as disrespectful, you know.
He's like, I'm not a trained brother.
Don't call me brother.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, like we got each other's face. There was like no one around. So
no one filmed it?
Yeah.
For content?
In the back of my head, I'm like, there's nobody else here.
Yeah.
So like, he's just doing it for the love of the game, which like, hey, man, respect. Yeah, like, hey, he's doing his thing no matter who's there or not, which is like better than like, oh, I need cameras. But he's like, he does this. He walks away and this coach is, oh, nice to meet you. Like all the most polite. Like, yeah, we know he's crazy. It is with him, huh? Yeah, and I was just like confused. Like, they were so nice. Why is he like this? Like, we're gonna fight. I get it, and some guys are different. Like, they got to get in that place before and after. But I'm like, we're gonna punch each other. Well, actually, you are gonna punch me in this case. But you know, I wanted to punch him, it didn't work out that way. But yeah.
Oh man!
So that was a interesting little, and again, I got, you know, nothing against the guy. He's done great.
Yeah,
good for him. But yeah, it was an interesting fight week. I wish I would have handled the press conference a little bit better.
Gordon Ryan explains how he would approach a fight against Khamzat Chimaev.
up against Khamzat Chimaev, how would you use your grappling and create the fight that you want? What do you see when you see him compete?
But using a combination of heisting, rolling, and submissions is like the way to beat people. People either just go into heist or they just go into rolls. They don't really chain them together too well. You saw like DDP try to do one Grandy and Khamzat followed and would cover his hips and keep him broken down. Their whole thing is they take their hands up nice and high behind your arms. They go into rear chest locks and they put your hands back on the ground. So every time you try to get up, your hands go to the floor. So you're carrying their body weight and you can't stand up to start breaking their hands apart or to turn around and hit them. They can hit you because your hands are on the floor, but their hands are on you. So they can hit you, but you can't touch them.
Ali Abdelaziz has shut down the idea of Islam Makhachev fighting Ilia Topuria next. Yesterday he posted this on X. He wrote, "Just to be clear, Justin Gaethje is fighting for the undisputed lightweight title. And if Topuria doesn't want, then Justin will fight for the undisputed title next, whoever is next. And if Islam wants to give Topuria this whooping, then he will be the one who will choose where and when. But Islam's next fight will definitely be against a real welterweight." Before Karate Combat last night, Alex Pereira made a $1,000 bet with Valter Walker that he couldn't heel hook his opponent. For those who don't know, Walker has 4 wins in the UFC, all by heel hook. The twist was, Walker was facing Zion Clark, who was born without legs due to a rare disorder called caudal regression syndrome.
Adoro jogar moeda. Quanto? Ué, depende qual é a aposta. Não, manda. Quanto? Milão. R$1.000.000 por milão. $1.000. $1.000. Qual é a aposta? Pegar o adversário. Aí é foda. Aí é foda. Os caras aí aposta impossível. Não, tá apostado. Pegou na mão, tá apostado. Aí me tem. Cara, isso é impossível. Não, mano.
Valter Walker ended up defeating Zion Clark via rear naked choke, but at one point he did go for the heel hook.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post video.
Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's in reference to Sean Strickland going off on Khamzat Chimaev, saying that he's ruining the middleweight division due to his inactivity. It's from Jay Clouds. It says, "I'm with Sean. I love watching Khamzat fight, but at the same time imagine being Ilia and going through actual real-life problems that can affect performance, and weeks after everyone is calling to vacate or strip him, and yet Khamzat fights once a year and no one says shit." The second one's from Florida Keys Boy. It says Khamzat has fought 4 times in the last 5 years. And the final one's from Project X7. It says Gon has ruined Aspinall's life, never mind career.
Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.